I'd like to point out an article by Michael Hudson, which appeared on the website Counterpunch a couple of weeks ago. The title of this article is The Recovery Plan from Hell. So, I will read you a few excerpts from this article and also post a link to it because I think it's very worthwhile reading. This recovery plan has now basically been signed, and there might be some adjustments to it, but bear in mind what this economist, Michael Hudson, has to say about it. The announcement of the Obama-Geithner recovery plan is basically an extension of the Bush-Paulson plan. Yet more giveaways to financial insiders with a view to concentrating the U.S. banking system into a cartel of just a few large banks. This is not altogether bad news for the still relatively healthy part of the banking system, healthy in the sense of still avoiding negative equity. Smaller, less troubled banks will be bought out by the larger troubled banks to the personal financial benefit of their stockholders. This cannot solve today's financial problems. The fact that the debt overhead far exceeds the economy's ability to pay. In fact, it will spread the distortions that the large banks have introduced until the entire system presumably looks like Citibank, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. But this is clearly only stage one of a two-stage plan that has not yet been announced, although the Wall Street Journal's op-ed page has provided enough hints trickling out for the past 3 months to tip the hand of Wall Street's dream recovery plan. It's not exactly what most people are hoping for. In fact, it threatens to be a nightmare scenario for the economy at large. Watch for the magic phrase equity kicker, first heard in the S&L mortgage crisis of the 1980s. The first question to ask about this recovery program is recovery for whom? The answer is for the people who design the recovery program and their constituency, the bank lobby. The second question is, what is it that they want to recover? The answer is another bubble economy, having seen the Greenspan bubble make them so rich with his particular kind of wealth creation, wealth in the form of indebtedness to the real economy at large, to the banking system, and unprecedented capital gains to be made by riding the waves of asset price inflation. For the financial elites, this article continues, the problem is that it's not possible to inflate another bubble from today's debt levels, widespread negative equity, and still high level of real estate stock and bond prices. No amount of new credit or capital for the banking system will induce banks to provide even more credit to real estate that already is over-mortgaged, or to individuals and corporations already over-indebted. All professional observers have forecast property prices to keep on plunging for at least the next year, which is, as far as the eye can see, a completely unstable situation, such as we are experiencing today. While the Obama administration's financial planners wring their hands in public and say, "We feel your pain," to debtors at large, they also recognize that the past 10 years have been the golden age for the banking system and Wall Street, and the wealthiest 1% of the population has raised its share of the returns to wealth, dividends, interests, rent, capital gains, from 37% of the total just 10 years ago to 57% 5 years ago, and an estimated 70% today. Over 2/3 of the returns to wealth now go to the wealthiest 1% of the population. This is global. This is not just here. This is the highest level on record. We are approaching Russian kleptocratic levels after the breakup of the Soviet Union, one might say. Yet the financial hard right of the political spectrum, the lobbyists now in control of the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and the Justice Department, for starters, repeats the new big lie, that it is the poor who have brought the system down, exploiting the rich by trying to ape their betters and live beyond their means. Subprime families have taken out subprime loans. The lying poor have signed documents to obtain liars' loans. And Michael Hudson goes also on to say, "I learned the reality a few years ago in London, talking to a commercial bank strategist. We've had an intellectual breakthrough," he said. "It changed our entire philosophy." "What is it?" I asked, and this is Michael Hudson asking. "What is it?" I asked, imagining that he was about to come out with a new junk philosophy. "The poor are honest," he said. "The poor pay their debts as a matter of honor, even at great personal expense. Unlike Donald Trump, the poor are less likely to walk away from their homes when market prices sink below the mortgage level. In today's neoliberal Chicago school language, the poor behave uneconomically. That is, they make choices that do not make economic sense for these guys, but rather reflect a group morality. This sociological gullibility is what made them rich pickings for predatory lenders such as Countrywide, Wachovia, and Citibank. As I said above, it was a golden age, and the financial and real estate bubble is the world that America's financial power elite would love to recover. The problem for them is how to start a new bubble and make it yet into another fortune for them. The alternative would be to keep what they have and take a run, which they might do that. And it's a very, very simple situation, actually. So I'd urge you to look up this article. I'll post a link to it. It's very long. I can't read all the stuff on here, but all the credit for this article goes to Michael Hudson. Thanks a lot.